This is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, May 6th. From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
From Powell, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And this is the HomeTech Podcast, podcast about all aspects of home technology, home automation, all that good stuff. Got a couple of new products this week, which is nice to see, but I had a travel week last week. And guys, I can tell you I am not good at travel anymore. I suck at it. I've completely forgotten what to do.
So is this your first time traveling since, the whole COVID thing kicked in, or, what was it like traveling again?
Wasn't the first time traveling. It was more of a first time, maybe the first time on a plane, maybe not. I think I've taken a plane before, but I don't know. I seem to be so rusty at it. Like what I like to have is a little pack that I can like grab and take with me. And I had all that like settled for like business travel. And then I think what happened over like COVID was like I kind of like pulled stuff out of it. And of course the phones all changed, different chargers came out, different laptops came out. So chargers, cables all kind of changed up. So everything was up to date. And then I kind of like swapped stuff in for personal travel. So like, we would go to some of the theme parks. We'd stay in a hotel over there. Doesn't quite work out. So like I got to where I was going. I'm like, I don't have this, and this. It's no good. Like why can't we like have just everything in one spot? I like to have everything like in one thing, and you just pick it and go, and you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to travel again. I haven't gone anywhere in many months now, and I am looking forward this summer going somewhere that's not my house or work. So I'm jealous of that at least. But I guess you were at work, so probably not that much to be jealous of.
Yeah, not really. Turned into all meetings all week. So,
Oof.
Yeah, meetings. It turns out meetings are just the same in person as they are on Zoom. So I don't know why we have offices anymore. Hey, speaking of offices, TJ, you just got an office.
Yeah, we rented out a office at the local Chamber of Commerce. So we just got the keys to that today. And actually, I say keys. I had to go get the keys made for it. They didn't have any keys for the actual lock. So, but yeah, just got that started up today. Got a bunch of the stuff moved from the house to the office. So a lot more free space at the house now that I got all the boxes of wire and boxes of people's products out of my house.
Congratulations. It feels like I'm witnessing the growth of a multi-billion-dollar company, the next WeWork, so.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, everybody keeps saying that, but I feel like that's like a crash and burn story. I don't feel like that's a good story at all.
Well, in the end, and I'll just, spoiler alert, they walked away with billions of millions and billions of dollars anyway, so I'd rather be the next WeWork than poor.
I guess that's true. That's more than I have. Yeah.
I do remember the two crazies at the top, the crazies at the top walking away with a lot of money. So haven't watched the rest of that show. Kind of started watching it and got, I don't know. It's one of those like I don't really care to watch. If I don't care like about the characters, and I don't care about those two characters at all.
Yeah.
Then I have a hard time of like connecting to the show and watching it. So, but I've switched over to the Star Trek, which I guess Gavin you've been watching too. So, or you said it was great. I hadn't actually seen it. The Discovery one, the new one.
The Discovery, I love Discovery. Picard was for me, and the new one, New World, is starting up this week, I believe. So, I love what I'm liking about these new shows with the Star Treks especially is they feel like so much money's thrown into them. They feel like one long movie, or like it's not like the camera is shaking, whenever they got shot, like they make it look like real professional, like a real good movie. So I'm really enjoying them. Storylines are great. So if you're looking for something to watch, check out these Star Trek shows.
Yeah. If it's up your alley, float your boat, float your starship, whatever. Yeah, check them out. I don't know. I haven't watched Star Trek in a long time, but these actually, I was like, well, what am I going to watch? And I saw the Picard thing. I'm like, well, I haven't seen the Discovery thing. I don't know if I need to see one than the other.
No, but Discovery's better than Picard. So
okay.
I found.
All right. Well,
I honestly don't think I've ever even seen an episode of Star Trek.
Oh,
to each their own. Like, I mean, it's not the best thing in the world. I used to watch TNG like all the time when I was growing up because I think it was always on. Like, I think there was back then on cable. I think they were just required to carry a Star Trek channel or something. I don't know how it worked. I haven't watched them in years, and I figured, why not give it a shot? See what the new thing's all about. See what the kids are all excited about these days. I don't think it's kids watching that show.
it's worth a watch though.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. All right, guys, what do you say we jump into some HomeTech headlines?
Let's do it.
All right, a couple of new products to hit the shelf this week from Wise and Aquara. I guess first we had a rumor about this last week. We punted just to kind of wait to see what it came out looking like, and it's a $40 Wise garage door opener. That is pretty neat. Like the idea behind this is that it's a camera and a sticker, a QR code that you stick on your garage door, and when the camera sees that QR code, it knows your garage door is shut. And that's technology, guys. It's amazing. For $40, what do you expect? And then I guess there's some software that tie basically a relay into the camera. Little. When I was looking at the product shots online, it looks like there's a like a little small like dongle almost that hangs off the just what you would expect for a $25 Wise camera. That has the extra relay built into it, and in their app you can open and close your garage door, and you can see if the garage door is open or closed. And the sensor state, instead of using a relay or a contact sensor like normal, they use a QR code. Not a bad hack. Gavin, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's a good idea. I know others have done things with a laser and a reflective thing on the door, but this is using technology they already have, and I think it's great. I'm pretty sure they took into account all the things like if it's dark in there, et cetera, or even if you have a big vehicle, you have to angle the camera in a certain way just to make sure it can see it. But it can also do things like it will know if your door is opening or closing, because you can sense the movement of the QR code. So I think it was pretty smart how they did it. I like it, and I like how Wise is just coming out with product after product that makes sense.
Yeah, it's great. You get the garage door controller and a camera for the $40. And it looks like it's only compatible with the ones that, just work based off a regular relay. But I feel like a lot of people are still using those type of garage doors, so this should be able to be used in a lot of places. And it looks super easy to install. If you ever installed any other garage door opener, it's literally just 2 wires, and you just push them into the little plug things, and that's it. So for $40, this seems like a no-brainer. Ties into their existing ecosystem, and I don't see any problem with it.
Yeah, it doesn't work with the yellow button. That's basically the MyQ garage door openers, but we talked about that last week or the week before with the Garage It stuff. If you have one of those, you'll have to get the little adapter, get the Garage It piece. Like that's $25, I think. So it's roughly half the cost of this thing, or a little bit more than half the cost of this thing. And there you go. You've got a little camera that does what it's supposed to do. Open and close your garage door. Can't beat it. Second thing is inside the house. They've got a Wise $25 sensor. It only works with their Wise thermostat. It picks up temperature, humidity, and motion detection, basically occupancy sensor in a room. And it works to eliminate hot and cold spots and prioritize comfort in rooms that someone's in, I guess. It has a 3-year battery life with AAA batteries, and it has an always-on display, which I think looks like a one of those Kindle, like a Kindle display. What is that? E-ink display. That's what it looks like. Not bad for $25. Looks okay. Looks decent. Can't complain. TJ, what do you think about this thing?
Yeah, I mean, this totally makes sense as a little room sensor that you would have if you had a thermostat. Oftentimes a lot of people complain about the different temperatures that each room has. I don't think that's going to solve, or this isn't going to solve that problem necessarily. You would need something like the smart vents that I think that you have, Seth. But if you're looking to find out the temperature and humidity in your room, it's a good option for it. It's got that little motion sensor built into it, so I'm assuming you can do something else with it as well. Looks like a pretty standard device to me, though.
And yeah, like the keep in mind, these aren't meant to change the temperature of a specific room, right? They're meant to, for the thermostat to, know how much to heat up the house. So basically, I do this with my Ecobee.
I should say, this is just the same thing as Ecobee, right?
Exactly. So at night, all I care about is the temperature in my bedroom. So Ecobee will only use the sensor in the bedroom and only heat it up to make sure that's comfortable. It won't care about the rest of the house. And during the day, it will do other rooms and stuff like that. And this is just the next step to make a thermostat, more catch up with the others and more functional. I think it's a great thing. And the one thing about Wise I'm finding is they pretty much come out with every base product at this point. I'm starting to think, what are they going to do next? They have all those useless products I find, like this gun safe and the handheld vacuum maybe, but they have all the basic products from the sensors to the switches to the doorbell. They've grown pretty fast, and I hope they continue this momentum and keep everything up to date.
Well, and if you act now, you can pick up COVID tests for about $4 off. So
still have those, yeah. I actually ordered those. I got a bunch of those in, so
it worked pretty well, actually.
Oh yeah, look at that. Greg says he wants it to be hot in the bedroom. There you go. Keep it spicy.
I have my bedroom lights at one color and the thermostat at another temperature.
Yeah, interesting company, interesting product line that they have over there. It is kind of different compared to all the other smart stuff that's in the world, but they keep churning out product left and right. I mean, and what looks to be decent product, that $25 sensor, right, is you can get, I guess that's half the price of a Ecobee sensor, because those are $99 for a 2-pack. So these are $25 for one, but you also get like a little display on it as well. I don't know. Seems like it's a pretty good deal, especially if it's half off. I don't know how well their thermostat works, but if you're if you wanted to kind of replicate what you can do with the Ecobee with Wise, probably without an API, right? I'm not sure if the Wise thermostat has an API. Gavin, you'd probably know better than me.
Nothing open, it's been reverse engineered, but nothing open that they publish.
Yeah.
Got to keep you in the ecosystem somehow.
Exactly. I was trying to figure out, I guess I could just search for thermostat on their website. Oh, their thermostat looks god awful. Okay, so it's $71, $70.99, and it looks just like the sensors. It's kind of like this little oval shaped bug looking thing with a dial on it and a screen. So
it is a fraction of the price of the good looking ones though, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely get what you pay for here. It's definitely ugly, and I don't really need the thermostat to look pretty. Like I said on the show last week, I think Gavin, you and I were talking, mine's hidden away. I never look at my thermostat. If I was to walk into my house, it's over there. So I don't ever have to worry about it, or look at it, or talk to it, or trying to listen to music out of it, or whatever. I don't need all those smart home features, those particular smart home features out of it. What I do need to do is turn on and off the air and be reliable enough for some integration. Like the Ecobee has been okay for that, especially since I use it for HomeKit mostly, so it's all local. I don't have to rely on their servers being online, so that's kind of nice. Kind of moving on here, Aqara, they released a P1 occupancy sensor and a P1 motion sensor. I got these two mixed up because they both have the P1 designated part number on them. Anyway, a lot of people raving about this P1 occupancy sensor. Gavin, what do you think about this thing?
The Aqara stuff is popular because of the low price point, but you gotta remember, with the low price point, you get sometimes questionable products. But so first off, their motion sensors is just the next generation of their existing motion sensor. It looks like they doubled up the battery in it, and it adds a few extra features. It all runs on Zigbee 3.0. But a word to the wise, I've seen rumblings that it has some compatibility issues with Zigbee 2.0 hubs or controllers. So, you get what you pay for. It works perfectly with their own hubs, and you can go from their hub and integrate it into other systems if you want. So if that's what you want to do, go that way. But the cool one that everyone's talking about is the occupancy sensor. So the occupancy sensor is using milliwave to detect if someone's in a room. It's not just looking at motion. It's not just looking at motion. It's actually will know if someone's in a room, if someone left the room, etc., etc. It's getting really good reviews. People are loving it. That too also is Zigbee 3.0. The only problem is it's very hard to find. It's only available in China right now, and they don't even know if it will be brought to other markets at this point. I guess they're testing the market with this, but people are loving this.
Yeah, that milliwave looks pretty cool. There have been a couple of smart home devices that have tried to do that in the pro space in the past. I'm thinking more of in the security realm, where like you're trying to secure a warehouse, and you would use that particular technology rather than motion detectors, that's just infrared light, right? So it has the way a motion detector works. It has infrared emitter, and it basically shoots channels or paths straight ahead. And the way the motion detector goes off is if you break one of those channels or paths. And a lot of motion detectors if you walk directly at them, it takes them a little while to figure out that you're actually doing that. They don't work very well. And don't ever aim one at a hot door or a slider here in Florida, because it just won't work, because all it picks up is the heat coming from the sun, and that's it. Doesn't work. I see TJ, you're shaking your head. You must have run into a couple of these too.
Yeah, I always have problems with motion sensors. I don't know if it's just the ones we use from 2GIG or something, but
it's your cat.
Well, could be.
You need a pet friendly one.
Now, the ones I'm using, they have like a 3-minute timeout on them, and I don't know if this is consistent with all the other motion sensors out there, but it'll actually trigger, and then it won't trigger again for another 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's my downside with it, especially when you're trying to test this system and you're like, man, I can't trigger this thing all the time. Why can't I?
And the nice thing about the occupancy sensor, it's feature heavy. So you can adjust the timeouts to be down to 1 second if you want. It also is able to sense if somebody's walking towards it, away from it, left or right, etc. Like, there are a lot of features that this thing does. I think it's all... Once you add it to their own hub, though, you get access to configure all those settings, though.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Yeah. Maybe we'll see some stuff like that come to the States, and maybe the way it works is just irradiates people, and the radiation, we can't bring that over here. So who knows?
Somebody send an email to Wise, they'll bring it out.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right. Well, let's move on here. A good DIY showing this week on some of the really interesting products. The garage door opener is kind of the most funky one for me, just because of the way they're using an existing camera that they have to check a garage door if it's open or closed. And instead of doing something like with advanced analytics and all this crazy stuff we see companies like Ring brag about that they're going to do, no, we just put a sticker. You put a sticker on the wall. And that's how we're going to tell.
I don't even understand the QR code. I wonder if it needs a QR code, or if that's just like its thing. Because I don't know. A QR code just seems weird to me.
It's just a simple. It's like a QR code's not going to exist anywhere in nature, right? It's not going to exist in your decor and home. It's just a computer readable image is all it is. So if the computer can read it and detect it, then that means it's there. So. The libraries exist. They work. They're fairly robust. They're just reusing free stuff.
Genius.
Yeah, genius, thrifty. Yeah, it's pretty good. I do like that one. That one's kind of the most. It's kind of the most innovative thing I've seen in a while. I guess is the way I'll say that.
Now we just have to find out if they all use the same QR code.
Ooh, that would be fun, right? Like, what if they do? Or can you use your own QR code? Like, if you don't like how it looks.
Ooh,
yeah.
There you go. It's just looking for a QR code. It doesn't matter what
Any
it is.
QR code, yeah. We'll have to figure it out. It's a mystery. We've got a couple of those on the show tonight. We're going to get to the one in a minute. But first up, let's talk about... actually, I'm going to swap the two stories here. And we'll talk about another mystery that we have here. Leviton is out today with 5, not just 1, not just 2, not just 3, not just 4, but 5 new smart home products under its Decor line. So headlining the release are the HomeKit-enabled smart lighting. It's designed to be they're designed to be retrofitted into older homes that might not have the right wiring for modern lighting control systems. So the 5 devices include a no-neutral switch, a no-neutral dimmer, and to work those, you have to have a required Wi-Fi bridge that they have. And there's a new smart Wi-Fi second generation motion sensing dimmer and a Decora smart Wi-Fi second generation tamper resistant outlet. So a lot of words in those, but if you squint a little, like real like this, like you can see that there are 5 products there. There's the no neutral dimmer, the no neutral switch, and the Wi-Fi hub, and then the outlet and the motion sensing dimmer. So that's our 5. Interesting products that for the smart Wi-Fi stuff that's kind of new and uses no neutral. That stuff looks kind of nice. Looks like regular rocker switches, and kind of designed and looks to be designed around like more smaller installs. So the Wi-Fi bridge only supports up to 25 Decora smart no neutral devices. And I think going through the instructions, you can only have like 99 devices total in this ecosystem on your app, so to speak. That's all that'll be integrated with. But the pricing isn't bad. So the switch with the bridge is about $65. The dimmer with the bridge is $70, and there's a bunch of other bundles. If you need more bridges, if you have more than 25 devices, you can get another bridge for $20. The switch individually sells for $45, and the dimmer goes for a whole $50. So really not bad on the pricing there. Probably really good for retrofit and DIY use case, especially with that no neutral installation. I have a couple of locations in my house here where it's just a switch leg running, that's it. That's all you get. You get 2 wires that come down, there's no neutral, and everything's switched up at the light bulb. So it's nice to see a company coming out with a smart device that does that and looks like just a regular switch, which I appreciate quite a bit. Gavin, what do you think about these things?
I'm a little confused. Like, I know I had a Leviton HomeKit switch before, so they are adding a hub into the mix somehow. They have everything. They have Z-Wave switches, Zigbee switches, HomeKit switches, Blue Wave switches, Bluetooth switches. I just see them adding a hub into this mix, and I'm trying to figure out what's the point. Is it preparing them for Matter later on? Are we looking at that, or is it to add support in for all the various ecosystems such as Amazon, Google, and stuff like that too? I guess that's the mystery. Move. Yeah,
that's a mystery. That's what we couldn't figure out before the show. We spent way too long looking into this, and we'll probably spend more time talking about it because it is a mystery. And the HomeTech crew evidently loves a good mystery. So call Scooby-Doo out on this one, because we couldn't figure out what the communication protocol was between the bridge and the devices. Friend of the show, Robert Spivak, was saying on Twitter that it's probably Bluetooth, although can't really find any evidence of that. There is nothing on their website that tells you exactly what the communication between the bridge and the devices are. And TJ, I think you were saying you looked on their website. They already have Wi-Fi stuff. They have second gen Wi-Fi switches out, so that it's not Wi-Fi. And you wouldn't have a bridge for Wi-Fi to go to Wi-Fi. That just doesn't make any sense. You just could run right on Wi-Fi. TJ, you were saying they even had Z-Wave and Zigbee on the site under the same brand as well?
I think that's true. Isn't that, Gavin?
Yeah. So yeah, if you look on their site, you'll see Wi-Fi, you'll see Zigbee, you'll see Z-Wave, you see Bluetooth, as independent switches. So now they have this as a new category of a bunch of switches with a hub that adds it to HomeKit. But they already had HomeKit switches because I had one before, I believe, and it was a good switch.
Yeah, but now you can have other switches for other stuff. I'm getting annoyed with all the different Wi-Fi bridges that keep coming out, right? Like we've been installing a lot of smart locks recently, and they all have, their own little plug-in module for the lock, which I think is great, because then you buy one lock and you just change it out for Z-Wave or Zigbee or whatever you want. I'm fine with that. But all of them have this little plug-in Wi-Fi bridge that you have to plug in somewhere near there and then connect to your Wi-Fi. And it's just like, at that point, just give me like a regular Z-Wave switch or something and just cut out, or a Z-Wave door lock and cut out the Wi-Fi bridge altogether. But you still need the Wi-Fi bridge in order to open up certain integrations if you're not going full in with Z-Wave. So it's just, I don't know why they keep doing this. I assume they need to for some reason, but I'm just not a fan of the separate Wi-Fi bridges for everything.
It's a couple of reasons, like strategically and like financially, I guess I'll say too. Like, so if you have all of these like independent Wi-Fi devices that are hooked up and online and talking to a server somewhere, that those are, say you have 10 of them, those 10 devices are talking up to that server and communicating state back and forth. Those are 10 connections that you're paying for times how many ever homes that you have sold them into. And, you know, just, it goes on and on and on. It's not much money, but it is money. And those connections do cost money to keep open and alive. Now, if you do a little intermediate, like a bridge in between, you can use that to communicate back down and out to the other devices. So like that bridge is a smart thing to do. It lowers the cost of your product. Clearly here, you know, they can put in a little $20 Wi-Fi bridge that does some other communication out to their devices, whether it's Bluetooth or Zigbee or Z-Wave, who knows? But they're able to turn around and use those to communicate back to that bridge. And that bridge can just maintain a single connection back out to the servers. So when you go to your app and you press lights on, that command goes down to the bridge and then it gets executed out, rather than it having to like verify communication with all these 5 or 6 devices and send the commands out that way. So I think it's a better like topology, I guess. And I'm a big fan of it, clearly. Like, it's where I've lived in for, with Control 4 systems, Crestron systems, URC RTI, Elan. Every one of the Pro systems has been set up that way for a long time. Apple HomeKit is kind of set up that way. Like, to get remote access, they require that you have an Apple TV or a HomePod or something set up in the house, so that there is that one device to kind of talk back to for that remote connection. So like it's not unfounded that those types of devices like require some kind of bridge, especially if you're going for like low cost product, to have like a full Wi-Fi stack built into them, and Wi-Fi certified light switch or whatever. I bet if we go compare those $50 dimmers to like whatever their Wi-Fi dimmer was, I bet you, all we have a link in the show notes is going to be for the one for the regular one, but Leviton has a bunch of these things in there. I bet you it'd be more than $50 for their Wi-Fi switch, just because it's a more overhead, more programming, more installation time, to more support to get all those to work with someone's random ISP provided Wi-Fi modem.
And I guess adding that hub makes it easier for I guess those people that don't have like a Smart Things or a Habitat, in their home. Like, they still want these switches, and they just want these switches in their app, and they can easily add this into their house without having to set up a whole new ecosystem. So I can see the need for it. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it just makes sense from a business standpoint, rather than having like all these little devices talking back. Everything's a hub, like Habitat. They have a hub.
Just because it makes sense doesn't mean I like it. Come on.
Yeah. Well, so the mystery we'll have to figure out and solve before next week's show is what the heck is the communication standard between the little $20 hub?
If they're doing 2,500 square feet, I would think it'd have to be Zigbee at that point, right?
But
you can't do Bluetooth with that much.
It shouldn't have a range issue, Well, I guess it probably doesn't. It shouldn't have
Bluetooth is like 20 feet, so.
But they have Bluetooth mesh as well, too, right? So if it depends on if it's using a mesh system.
I guess.
It could be, yeah. The Bluetooth stuff never really. It's always like year of the Linux PC, right? Like, it's the year of Bluetooth mesh home or whatever they've come up with 5 years too late. Like, Bluetooth never is really taken off, so it could be Bluetooth.
Okay. So in the description, it does say coverage. One Wi-Fi bridge provides up to 2,500 square feet of coverage in the home. Multiple bridges may be used for larger homes. Place Wi-Fi bridge within 50 feet of Decora's smart home. So, not really a good answer either way.
No, yeah. I mean, Z-Wave and Zigbee, you want to keep within 50 feet of the first hop, Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Maybe it could be their own proprietary thing, too. A mystery. We'll have to dig down and try and solve. We tried to look before the show and dig up the FCC filings to see what they claimed was inside there, but can't figure it out. And they don't claim anywhere like Bluetooth. Usually there's like logos smacked all over these things, like one of those Windows PCs that you buy. But there's nothing on these things. No Bluetooth logo, no Zigbee, no Thread, nothing. So I don't know. They do have a little janky, like, works with my Leviton logo, which I thought was kind of hilarious. So we'll probably put a link to that picture in the show notes because it was just really ridiculous. I've never seen that or heard of it before.
Yeah, it looks like something you would find on like a cheap Amazon product or something.
We should make
Not
it
like
works
a
with
giant
HomeTech.
Oh,
Yeah, all the
There you
patrons,
go.
you get a works with HomeTech sticker. We'll put that
Nice.
together.
we'll have to throw one on our Ava remote before it gets banned.
Ooh, there we go. No, see, HomeTech will never ban the Ava remote ever. We're not taking our app off the Ava remote. All right.
We have an app on the Ava remote.
I mean, maybe.
We weren't going to tell you. Seth and I were getting royalties off it. We were going to leave you out of it.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, let's move on here. Got an interesting little feature added. Product added. I like when you get software updates and they add features in via software. So Amazon seems to be doing a little bit of that this week, and they have announced that the Amazon Fire Cube is the first streaming device that will do audio streaming for hearing aids, or ASHA. People with hearing loss can use the Fire TV Cube, and they'll be able to connect compatible Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids to stream the device, stream whatever's playing on the device, whether it's a TV show or music or anything like that, to help improve TV sound quality and pump that music and everything right into your ears, right into your hearing aids. I guess it was the top requested feature among hearing aid users. Amazon aims to expand audio streaming for hearing aids, or ASHA, I guess, support to more of its devices in the future. Seems like a win-win to me. Like this is great. I wish more products started supporting stuff like this. This sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't understand why this isn't a bigger thing already. I could see, in certain situations, us switching a Fire TV just because of this feature. And I think right now it's just on the Fire Cube, but they're talking about bringing it to the other products as well. So, I mean, that's a huge selling point. We hook up a lot of, receivers or transmitters for Bluetooth hearing aids. So if you don't need the little transmitter, this would be great for that.
Yeah, I can remember installing like those Sennheiser headphones and that kind of stuff, and it requires this bulky extra thing that you add in, and I don't know, this seems like it's a great idea. Where you're already wearing the hearing aids, they just pair right with your Fire TV Cube or whatever, and maybe other players in the future, will adopt this and bring their products over. This seems like it's a win-win for everybody involved.
Yeah, and I think a lot of hearing aids at this point use Bluetooth already, so it wouldn't be hard to imagine a jump to enabling support for all those.
Yeah, I don't keep up to date with my hearing aid technology, but I only recently discovered that they implemented so many features into hearing aids when a friend of mine was using hers to answer her phone and stuff. Like, I found that amazing. I didn't know that they came that far. I know I've been looking at headphones for watching my TV, and I know there's a rumored Sonos headphones that, might come out. I was thinking that, but by the time that comes out, who knows if I'll need a hearing aid. So I'll keep an eye out for these.
By that time, you might have Sonos hearing aids.
Hearing aids. There you go.
right? Yeah, who knows?
Or Wise hearing aids before then.
Ooh, there you go.
Wise, more like it.
Yeah, definitely Wise ones.
Yeah, the $1,500 Sonos, or you get the $29.99 Wise.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, Amazon also announced that person detection announcements are rolling out to all Ring video doorbells and cameras, and they'll soon make its way over to the Google Nest Cam Outdoor, the Nest Cam Indoor, the Nest Cam Floodlight, the Nest Doorway battery camera, I guess, the Abode Iota, and the Abode Outdoor camera. So that's kind of a neat little software update. You get person detection announcements coming in. You can also set up an Alexa routine based on the new detection features, such as like turning on a porch light when somebody walks up, controlling a smart lock, or activating sprinklers on a potential intruder. That seems kind of mean, but okay. There's also package detection, which will be available on the Ring Video Doorbell Pro 2 and the Ring Video Doorbell 2020. I think we're calling that the 4, but okay. And it's coming to abodes Iota and outdoor cameras, but not to the Google Nest cameras, even though the Nest doorbells do have package detection on their own. So this particular Alexa feature is not making its way over there. It's just going to kind of stay on device and not be brought out. The partnerships are part of a new object detection sensor API that Amazon has released that allows camera manufacturers to add this new functionality to their devices. So Ring users will need to actually have Ring Protect plan. It starts around $3 a month. And Abode users, of course, will need an Abode plan that runs around $7 a month. And Google does not charge for this person detection, presumably because they probably don't have to pay Amazon for it. I'm guessing how this works. Like Amazon is the one that runs the little servers, and they probably charge a little bit more for that API to transfer video around and process it and all that good stuff. Gavin, what do you think about this? New features coming to your Ring doorbell.
I always like new features. New features is great. It just means that the products, they haven't given up on the product. I know you laughed at the whole, turn on the sprinkler system, but there's actually valid reasons for doing that. Like,
I didn't laugh. I said it was me.
Well, I actually had that set up in my backyard because the raccoons and stuff, when they came in the backyard, it would trip the sensor and it'd scare them off. They were digging up the lawn looking for grubs and stuff like that. I have foxes running back there. I had to turn it off though because it also kicked in whenever I let my dog out, so it kind of backfired on me. But no, it's the key thing is they're letting their Ring cameras, the sensors be used in the A-Lady routines, and it just opens up a lot of things you can do with those routines once you get the sensors in there.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, integration brings, all this stuff for you, right? Like these closed ecosystems like Cough Ring, they don't really have much integration with, outside parties, or, they haven't really released, they really haven't released very much integration. We do have a integration with Ring, and that I work on, not daily, but enough, that, just basically brings in the events from cameras and doorbell pushes down into the system. And there's some various others smaller things that we could have done with it, but what really would have been awesome is if we got events for the alarm system or something that's built into Ring. That's a really killer system, and getting data into some kind of home automation system really opens up what you can do with the product. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but I suspect it's kind of a business decision. It's keep everything siloed. Keep them if you want Ring events to be triggered off your Ring alarm system, you're going to use the Ring app. That's probably what they've decided to do. And fair enough. They don't charge too much for that product. So I guess that's one thing. But it would be nice to be able to integrate it in with other things and trigger. Say I had a home system or home lighting system or something. I want to trigger some lights based off of the alarm state. It would be nice to at least integrate that back into a previously existing lighting control system. It'd be great to have that kind of thing. So I really like it when the a little bit, maybe not much, but a little bit of the wall garden kind of gets chipped away, and you get a little bit more integration.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see this brought to the Unify lineup as well at some point, especially with the Unify Doorbell G4 Pro that I'll never get. But that would be perfect for it.
Yeah, there's some hack drivers, reverse engineered drivers out there. There's one for the HomeBridge, but there's also one for Control4 that I use quite often. And you get the events on person detection, motion detection off that as well. So for the G4 products that you're talking about, and it's nice, but I wish that, at the very least that Unify had some kind of publicly supported API and somebody didn't have to go through and hack things. And when they update something, it doesn't, break all the installs out there just because they felt like updating to whatever technology they want to update to. Would be nice. All right, kind of moving on here. Speaking of Alexa here, a report released last week contends that Amazon uses voice data from its Echo devices to serve targeted ads on its platforms. Guys, I know this is shocking. Just hold your comments. TJ looks aghast right now. It's pretty much what everybody thought. Like, I don't know what you expected. It's a $30 thing they've been shoving down our throats for free every Thanksgiving. So anyway, according to this report produced by researchers affiliated with the University of Washington, UC Davis, UC Irvine, Northeastern University, they all said that the ways Amma does this is inconsistent with their own privacy policies. Not very good. The research document titled "Your Echoes Are Heard: Tracking, Profiling, and Ad Targeting in the Amazon Smart Speaker Ecosystem." The report concludes that Amazon and third parties, including advertising and tracking services, collect data from your interactions with Alexa through the Echo smart speakers and share it with as many as 41 advertising partners. Yay! That data is then used to infer user interests and serve targeted ads on platform devices like the Echo, as well as off-platform devices such as websites and that kind of thing. It also concludes that this type of data is in very hot demand, leading to a 30 times higher ad bids from advertisers. Amazon confirmed over to The Verge that it does use this voice data from Alexa interactions to inform relevant ads shown on Amazon and other sites where Amazon places ads. It says, quote, "Similar to what you'd expect if you'd made a purchase on Amazon.com or requested a song through Amazon Music, the record of that purchase or song play may inform relevant ads shown on Amazon or other sites where Amazon places ads," the Amazon spokesperson said in an email to The Verge. So, kind of wild, kind of crazy, but not unexpected. If you don't pay for something, that means you are the product, right? So if you pay $30 for this miracle smart speaker and, use it, I guess what's funny is, like, for me, it would just be like serving me like kitchen timer ads all the time, because there's really not much that I ever use the thing for other than that. Like, I never really used it for smart home products. I never used it for playing music or anything. So kitchen smart timers is, I guess, there's gold out there in the kitchen smart timer advertising field. If you guys ever are looking for a career change, just so you know.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer to me. I was under the impression that was the whole reason that, like, Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant came out, right? Was to basically better serve you ads. If they could, figure out what you're talking about in your house or around you, then they can target anything towards you then. And I don't think Alexa really launched with the smart home in mind anyway. It's basically like a searching product. So yeah, this is, like I said, no brainer to me. And ever since, really, especially in the United States, ever since the Patriot Act passed, I just assumed everything's being monitored. It doesn't matter what it is. So,
Gavin, are you enjoying your targeted ads up there in Canada?
I'm loving them. And you know what? This is something we already knew. I don't think it was just Amazon, Google, Siri. I think
for sure.
For sure. And I honestly, I'm under the belief that even though they deny it, I believe they're listening anyway. Right. Because, whenever I'm talking about something that I've never Googled, such as a new LG TV, and I could be talking about the new LG TV on the podcast, or, just talking about the new LG TV with my neighbor, it would pick it up. And I didn't even Google it. And then I'd start seeing advertisements in my feeds for the new LG TV, so I just want to make sure, like, I'm cool with this because the ads are more relevant to me, like the devices are cheap. And I'm expecting to see new LG TV ads in my feed probably today or tomorrow. And I'm cool with that. The key thing is for it to be shown in my wife's feed though. That's where I really want those ads to show up in her feed so that she gets, the idea.
Subliminal messaging at that point.
Yeah, for a new LG TV.
I have a feeling if your wife starts getting targeted ads for the new LG TV, I have a feeling she's going to know what's up. She's probably figured it out. And
Did you already buy a new
yeah,
TV?
exactly.
No, I'm looking for one. I'm trying to convince her that we need a new LG TV 55-inch.
Well, if you pick up a Nintendo Switch and then you pick up the new Wii Sports game, you can break your TV and then get a new one.
Wow, that sounds very specific, TJ.
I would not know.
At this point, though, I'm trying not to mess up my my ads that show up in my feed by mentioning other things, so I'm keeping it to just LG
Just
TV.
the new LG TV, yeah.
Right, for now. New LG TV 55-inch for now. Yeah.
Your wife brings home like a old Sony TV. You're like, no.
Did not work.
Yeah.
So the report notes that only processed transcripts are shared, not the raw audio. So they don't actually hear you saying the new LG TV, just that you said it many, many times. Compared to prior research on smart TVs and VR headsets, there was less data activity tracking on these smart speakers. Amazon told The Verge that it believes that the research is flawed, saying that much of the research is biased and based on speculation.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. I would like, no, this is all wrong. You really don't realize how well we're tracking you through these. This is what they should say, because they're doing such a good job at it. The authors conclude that there is need for greater transparency into the smart speaker data collection, sharing, and use. They note that these devices are currently, quote, black box devices without open interfaces that allow independent researchers to expose what data is collected or how they are shared and used. So yeah, more transparency wouldn't be a bad thing. Like more integrations, more transparency.
I think if they ever actually opened up the truth about what it's really capturing and what they're really doing with it, it would probably scare everybody, like really bad. I really think they're doing a lot more than we really even understand.
Well, and that's the thing, like through these 41 services that, you may talk about the new LG TV to your Echo there, but these 41 services have already kind of like taken your habits and who you were hanging around and how long you were lingering in the store staring at the new 41 LG 55-inch TV. Like they knew exactly where you were thanks to all the Bluetooth beacons and that kind of stuff that they installed in the store. So like you carry your phone, they know where you are. You've talked to people, you've talked to the salesman. They saw his phone there talking to you. They knew he's a sales guy for LG TVs. Yeah, so like they've already figured all this out without having to listening to you. And this is just kind of extra data, the sugar on top, the icing on the cake, so to speak. People are already, say that, oh, these things are listening to me. And I swear, I'm talking to no one about this, that I'm talking to this about this very specific thing. And the next day I get ads. It's like, well, that's how good the targeting is. They know what you're thinking without you having to input anything into the computer. And that's the scary part. Like but you're not seeing like all the cause to that effect, right? You're only witness to like, oh, well, I talked about it yesterday with John, but no one else. How would they have known? Never mind. John left that conversation and searched for the new LG TV. Like that's like, oh, well, maybe they were talking with Gavin, about the new LG TV. We are really going to sell a lot of TVs on this podcast. That's all I'm saying.
I think they really need to perfect, though, that once I get the new 55-inch LG TV, that they can stop serving me that ad, like I've got it. Let's move on to something else at that point. Because I hate getting ads for things I already have.
You don't want another 55-inch OLED TV?
New LG TV, yeah.
Oh, well, they should know I'll need a 45-inch for the other room.
You might need 2 or 3.
Yeah, but
right?
they should know the sizes I need at that point, right? So, all right, let's just focus on one thing, like the new LG TV 55-inch for now.
Tell you what, in our show notes over at HomeTech.fm /386, we'll just put all the sizes you need to find us, LG, and send them on over. If we have those new LG TVs, we've said enough on this show. More than I think anybody has ever advertised on a podcast.
If tomorrow comes and I'm seeing these in my feed, like this is a great experiment. I'm loving it.
All right. Well, all the links and topics and TV sizes that we've discussed tonight can be found in our show notes at HomeTech.fm /386. All right. Pretty cool pick of the week this week. Gavin, you came up with this a couple weeks ago. It is. It's actually. We're hanging out on the Alexa conversation tonight. I mean, this is pretty much it, right? This is a in-wall. I've seen these before, but this is kind of a cleaner version. So this is an in-wall voice assistant. What do you think about this thing?
I'm actually surprised there aren't more of these things, like, because this is like an in-wall voice assistant with Amazon built in. It's got a clean look to it. It's not an Amazon device. It's a third-party device. I'm surprised we don't see more of this so that you can add your devices to your rooms in a clean way, right? I don't know the price of this or where it's even offered, but I just thought it was a really cool device that we should see more of.
Yeah. So it has that European like look to it, right? And it's like square with, I don't know, like microphone mute button on it. Not that that's going to work, because they're going to listen to you when you're talking about your new LG 45-inch TV.
55 inch.
Yeah, 55 inch. Sorry.
You messed up my feed now.
But looks like they have a couple of different mounting options available too. And that, there's a 3D view here. The 3D view doesn't really help me like determine how deep that thing is. Yeah. But it does look like a nice clean product. It's got voice assistant built in and based on an Italian standard 3-post rectangular wall mount box with 83.5 millimeter fixing holes. Don't think we're going to see this here in the States anytime soon, just because of kind of like where this is made to live in the world, but still a nice clean, like, a nice clean product, I guess we'll say. So it looks pretty good.
The only thing I don't like about devices that have the Amazon built in is they give you a stripped down version of it. So they strip out certain features like you can't do, like I don't think you could do calls or drop-ins over it. And I don't like that because it's like I'd love to just have a full featured Amazon product like that's built into another product that's not so obvious in the room.
Right. They did that with like the Ecobee, right? So that it was like the Ecobee thermostat. It'd be really cool, like to have that as a intercom. So if you had 2 in your house, 1 on each floor, or 1 in the master suite, 1 over on the other side of the house for the kitchen area or whatever, you could like yell into that and intercom over. Like they strip all the features out for these devices, and it kind of leaves it wanting for a little bit more.
Yeah, I really wish they would stop doing that so I could just use my Sonos speakers in all the rooms. But right now we have Sonos speakers and Google Assistant speakers, and we just have to live with it.
That sucks. They want you to buy their little pods, because then they can get all that data when you're talking about that new LG 55-inch TV that you want.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, if you have any feedback, questions, comments, picks of the week, or ideas for the show, give us a shout. Or if you have a leftover, I don't know, LG TV, new LG TV, that'd be great. Give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can visit HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right, well, guys, that wraps up another week in news here. Any big plans for the weekend?
Nothing really. Like, the weather's getting warmer now, so because of that, you got to do your outside chores now. I can't play around with tech as much, so I got to, there's going to be pool openings. I got to go golfing. If you're into sports, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs have started, so I've been watching a lot of that. It's my favorite time of the year. But, just the regular smart home stuff. I have a whole bunch of projects around the house that I have to get done and clean up.
Yep. When I went traveling, I took my car to the airport, right? And so like I took all my tools and junk out of my car, and I cleaned up my Ty saying pool time. Yep, it's definitely pool time. I pulled all the stuff out of the car and like tossed it in the garage where it's actually supposed to go, and I cleaned up the garage and had like this big area back here, behind me, where things could fit. And I'm like, I got in my car today, and I'm like, wow, this car is really nice without all this junk inside.
Yeah,
it's actually a real car, right? So, TJ, what about you? Are you moving into the new office? Is that what your big plans are?
Yep, we're just getting the new office ready. It's just one office, one little desk and some storage, so nothing crazy, but getting that ready and getting all the stuff moved from the house over to there. So If you could see the shelving unit next to me, it was full of stuff before, and now it is almost empty minus the server stuff. So a lot more space for activities, they say.
Right. So are you moving? You're just moving like stock and supply and that kind of thing out, or are you going to use it for a meeting location? Or
nah, I'm pretty much going to use it just to work out of. I don't think I'll have any meetings or anything there. It's mainly, I was getting to the point where I'm going to need like a storage unit or something. And I've worked for companies before that basically worked out of a storage unit, and that was just god awful.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I would just rather just rent a small office space for a little bit more money and have somewhere physically to go. And that's kind of, climate controlled, and I have Wi-Fi and power and stuff too. So a little bit nicer for that. I could have meetings there if I want to, but I usually don't meet people. So
yeah, meet them in their own place or whatever. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, nothing exciting.
No, all right.
I got some good TV I'm watching.
Oh yeah, you didn't mention that at the top when we were talking about Star Treks.
Yeah, I got my eyes glazed over a little bit. It's just
What are you watching?
It's like when we're talking about sport ball. It's like, ugh.
There was nothing on TV. That's why I ended up with Star Trek.
So we subscribe to Discovery Plus, and we've been watching these Game Warden shows. It's kind of like Live PD or something, but with Game Wardens, and it's actually good. I'm not hating on it. We're watching this one right now called Lone Star Law. It's based in Texas, and I'm just amazed. And it's funny too because a lot of people don't realize, I guess, that like park rangers and wildlife officers are like real cops and stuff. So they'll be like out checking people's like life jackets and stuff, and they'll be like, "You're not a real cop. You can't do anything." And they're like, "All right, well, you're getting arrested now. Congratulations."
I'm sorry I asked.
It's good stuff. Better than that.
What was that one that was famous? Live PD. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that because like the cop shows always like make me feel bad. It's always like terrible situations, It's like domestic abuse and stuff like that. But like the animal ones are usually like all right. It's like, you shot a deer, you shouldn't have shot the deer. Everybody kind of learned a lesson. Here's a $25 fine. But it's not like whenever they show up, nobody's ever like upset or like super angry with them. Like whenever a cop shows up, everybody's like, run.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, we frequently someone at my work, let's just say that is very fond of the old Live PD. I think they shut down that show for whatever reason.
I thought they shut it down and then they brought it back for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not sure it ever came back like for real, but like it definitely got shut down pretty hard during the George Floyd protests and everything, because it wasn't exactly it wasn't actually showing the best light on some situations, I guess. So they kind of moved away from that. But I did read somewhere or I remember seeing that they were going to bring something like that back, but I don't know. Haven't seen anything since then. So,
well, if you like the action but you want to feel a little better about yourself, Lone Star Law.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe after I get done watching all of these Star Trek episodes. So.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, we do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about our Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out on the show. But every pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, The Hub, where you and everyone else can talk about the new LG 55-inch TV. So yeah, keep an eye on that one. So there we go. If you want to help out but can't support the show financially, totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That wraps up another week on the HomeTech.fm show, brought to you by the LG 40 to 55-inch TV. I don't know, somewhere in there. TV. From everyone here and everyone at LG, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Sayonara.